The views, comments, and opinions of the following program do not necessarily reflect those of Morris Media Studios, MorrisMediaLive.com, or its affiliates. Listener discretion is advised.
Hey guys, welcome back. Thank you for joining us for another episode of My Morning Coffee, where it is always strong, bold, and full of flavor. So it's been a minute since we chatted, and we're going to kind of go over what we've been up to. It's been an interesting, 3 weeks now, ladies?
Yes.
So a lot has gone on. And let's tell them what's been going on with you, Miss Sarita.
You know I hate going first. But it is the intro, so that's what I'm supposed to do. Let's see. It has been a really busy week, or busy couple weeks. I don't know if I shared with you guys, but I probably about 2 months ago, top of the year, 3 months ago, I went back to therapy. So the fact that I am in therapy is absolutely amazing. And I kind of want to take this time to kind of share with people that journey, because I think that is a journey that we don't talk about. And it's been really good. And yes, therapists need a therapist. So let's first and foremost say that. But it's been really great. I went to therapy maybe 7 to 10 years ago, and I'm back in after the loss of my grandmother last year, and I have actually been able to start to see things in a different light and strengthen my own clinical skills as a clinician, because there were some things that may have been holding me back. So I really want to take the time, throughout the show or just at any time, and start to normalize the therapeutic process, because I don't think we do that enough in our community and just as people of color. So I'm super excited about the journey and giving y'all some of what skills I have learned, because people who know me, the people on this, so I haven't always been the refined woman that you see before you today.
Oh, wow. What, if you don't mind me asking, what was the trigger that took you to that place where you knew you couldn't do this anymore on your own?
There was no trigger, actually. There was no, I can't do this on my own. It's kind of like maintenance on a car or exercising. We do maintenance on our body all the time. We eat right. Well, at least we try to. We exercise. And mental health is the same. It's if you don't utilize it, things start to get hard. And it was nothing that was particularly hard, but I wanted to make sure that I was still able to engage and interact in a way that felt that I was being my best. And not saying that I wasn't, but I wanted to maintain it. So there was no trigger. It was just this is something that needs to happen. You need a tune-up. So I went and got a tune-up. I'm getting my tune-up. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, I'm Tanya McKenzie, your audacious author and advocate. And I have been a little busy since the last time we've seen each other. My son came home from college for spring break.
Hi.
Now, I'm almost guessing that this might be his only spring break coming home, because we all know how we were on spring break. Going home was not exactly on our agenda.
We went to local.
Right. Local. We took him to the U-Turn Intern Expo.
Oh.
Yeah, he got a chance to meet Lisa Ray and had no idea who she was.
Okay. That is funny. I'm sure she loved that. I'm sure Lisa Ray was really excited that she was unknown.
You know, the cool thing is she was dropping jewels as a mother. So it wasn't just me telling him things. It was her. Me and her never have met before. And she was saying some of the same things as a mother that I have said. So it definitely shows the humanity and the unity in motherhood, right? Mm-hmm. It's just something that kind of goes across the board. Some of the things that we believe, like our children think we're goofy and nonsensical, and hers the same. So she was like, my daughter does not think I'm cool at all. I was like, she does not know you.
Oh, wow.
Right. Okay. So that was cool. And he got to do that. What really excited me about that was the opportunity to speak to so many students. I haven't really dealt with students like that in a while. So it was a pretty intense conversation. Some of them are very determined and laser focused on their future. And I'm confused on how you get to your senior year and you have absolutely no clue, no resume, and no LinkedIn account. We got to do better. Yeah. And the upsetting part is that it was many of the faces of color that had no responses when I asked them things like, well, what is it that you want to do? Okay. Well, what is it that you don't want to do? So, along that journey, right. So, I'm not exactly sure what they are missing at the university level. And these are not small schools like UCR and Irvine. And these kids have incredible degrees that they're going to be getting and no clue what they want to do with it. So, when we look at placement and employment numbers and employment out of college, we have to definitely be aware that some of that is their fault, not always the institution's fault. You have to be laser focused on what you want to do, or you will be lost and swallowed up in this world. What else happened? The Mueller report came out. That was irritating. Don't really want to spend too much time on that.
We don't, because it was only 4 pages.
Well, the thing about that is, even outside of that, I think so many people were so disappointed about the outcome. And what I hope is that more people will get involved and they'll get active, because I've always said politics starts at the local level. That's a federal thing that took place. You still have to be accountable for what happens in your own community. And if you don't like how something is going, then I definitely encourage you to find solutions in your community. You got to start there. And lastly, went to a little political event given by Billy Ray. He was writer-director for Captain Phillips and the Hunger Games. So he had some of the new elected officials, Democrats, come out to Paramount Studios, and we got to do some Q&A with them and get a little bit more involved and hear what they had planned.
These are already elected?
These are newly elected. So like the Democrat that took the Republican seat in California in Orange County, that never happens.
Right.
But meeting some pretty awesome and involved people, one of the sad statistics that I heard, I think it was Oklahoma or Alabama, one of the school districts, they only have school 4 days a week. Not that some students aren't happy about that, but it's basically because of funding. So we have a federal government that will spend oodles of money on an investigation that goes nowhere, or a border wall, or a plethora of things, but we have school districts that can't even afford to send kids to school for 5 days. Again, I will reiterate, get involved, get active, be a voice in the things that happen in your community. So, yeah, been a little busy. Happy to be back. Missed you guys. And what's going on, Miss Gia?
Wow. Okay. Jesus, you guys have been busy there.
A little bit.
Well, hello, you guys. I'm Gia, the creative spirit and the law enforcement officer of the dynamic duo. Oh, hi, camera. I didn't know where you guys are. Okay, well, I see you now. I haven't been as busy as Tanya and Sarita. For the last 3 weeks, I've been sick, fighting a cold, and I've been in a lot of pain. I have a shoulder injury and a neck injury that's been having me kind of out of it. I haven't been in the best of moods because I've been in a lot of pain. I had to go to urgent care during the last 3 weeks to get a shot. The shot didn't help. So then I finally got an appointment with my workers' comp doctor because it's a workers' comp injury. And they gave me a steroid. So that was nice. I took that for 5 days, and
That's nice.
the pain
That
went
was
away.
pleasant.
Yeah, it went away for 5 days, and now it's back again. So
Oh, so you in a real bad mood.
I'm really in a real bad mood. I had an MRI done during the last 3 weeks, so we're making progress. So I might have to go underneath the knife, you guys. So, so keep me in prayer. But I think that's the best thing for me because this pain that I'm in, it's really bad. You guys don't understand. I've been in a bad mood, been in a funk. I haven't been out and about because I've been in that much pain. I haven't had.
Like you.
I know I haven't had a chance to be my creative self. I haven't had a chance to make anything really. I did a few things. As a matter of fact, I made you guys something. Some earrings. So
I love gifts.
yeah. So there you go. I got you guys. Made you guys some earrings.
Cause it'll be cute.
Yeah.
I ain't got no nails.
I painted you guys some earrings, so you guys can wear them. You can rock some mahogany
They actually
box.
work well with yours.
Also, as you can see, I got some new glasses.
Hey.
Yeah.
I'm wearing mine today.
Yeah, so I got
And
some
I
new
still don't have
frames.
any.
They have a little camouflage. I don't know if you guys can see them because I love camouflage. So I got these frames and I wore them today just so I can motivate Tanya into wearing her glasses and she can see how they can be fashionable and you can
Shots
change
fired.
up your frames to accent your look. So that's what I've been up to.
I can't get my earring on.
Oh, sorry.
It's
Totally
okay.
fine.
Okay.
Wait. Can we actually? Oh, I thought I had it. Can we talk about what's in our cups?
Sure.
What's in your cup, Gia?
Some coffee.
Oh, that's it.
Yeah, that's it. I'm on medication, so
Okay.
so I just have coffee.
And
Latte with a shot.
Oh, okay. What's in your cup, Sarita?
I'm buzzing. I have green juice.
Green juice.
Yes. And
Okay.
it's making my mind actually go
Oh, okay.
but in a natural way.
Oh, so it's natural green juice.
Yeah, it's natural. So I juiced spinach, kale, ginger, apples, berries, and turmeric. And I took a ginger, turmeric, and honey shot this morning.
Okay.
I'm also the residential naturopath. But I took a shot of that, and it's a energy booster, and it actually creates clarity in your mind. So
okay.
juice some turmeric and some
So,
ginger.
What do you have for inflammation?
Ginger and turmeric.
Oh, okay. So,
Shots of that with some honey if you can take honey.
I can take a little bit of everything. So, some turmeric and ginger.
Yes.
Speaking of pain, my husband for the first time used CBD oil.
Yes.
Oh wow!
Yes.
So how was
Yo,
that?
Ray. Hey, Ray. Coming to the side.
All about
Yes.
that CBD.
Clearly, we like CBD around these parts.
I had to test it before he used it because
Okay.
Why you have to test
because
it?
he has very adverse reaction to anything he ingests. So I wanted to make sure we was all going to be okay.
Okay.
Right.
But he's been using it for almost 2 weeks now.
Okay.
And his knee said it's not bothering him
Said
anymore.
hello, CBD.
Hey.
Hey.
Is he drinking the water from my beverages as well?
I drink that.
Okay,
So what you're saying is maybe I should put a little CBD on my shoulder and neck. Maybe that might help.
Yes.
There's a soap.
And there's a cream too.
Okay.
I'll pick you up some.
All right.
But
Might have to check
but the
it out.
oil, I want to tell you about the oil. It doesn't have
No
a
scent.
taste. So you can no scent, no taste. So you can put it in anything. You don't smell like it. So anybody that is worried about what kind of
I love
look
this.
they might get,
I love this conversation
Right.
right
Well,
now. The
I'm
fact
not that versed in the CBD, but isn't the CBD the part that doesn't really get you high? It's
No,
the
it's
other-
no- yeah.
yeah. So he's good.
yeah, he is.
Yeah.
He's
So,
good.
yeah.
So it works out well. Just to let you guys
you are
know.
actually trying and using CBD. I love it.
Yeah.
We know what excites Sarita, don't we? CBD. All right. Let's toast to CBD, Sarita.
Toast to CBD.
Okay.
I mean, and other stuff too. But,
All right, you
that's
want
a
to
whole
tell them
other-
what's coming up?
Yes, I do.
All right.
So today we have a really great show. I want everyone to get their notebooks out and take notes because we have two really dynamic guests that are coming today. This is all about like your health, your wealth, financial literacy, taxes, home buying. This is where you're going to get a lot of your questions answered. So first up, we have Korey Kaiser, who is the founder and CEO of KFS Financial Services. Well, it's Kaiser Financial Services, KFS. And he is going to be our resident guru for all things taxes and accounting. So we're going to, because April 15th is quickly approaching, we are going to ask him questions about taxes and some of the things that have changed since Mr. Trumpito Cheeto has been in office. And then after him, we are going to have a wonderful woman by the name of Tanisha Curtis, and she is one of 3 founders of her company, which I don't think I have on here, which is awful to even say, but she is the home buying guru. So she is going to share with us programs that we should know about if you're a first-time home buyer, things that we need to know in terms of loans and what loans are out there, what programs, and all things home buying and mortgages and entrepreneurship. And both of them are entrepreneurs. So we're also going to have conversation about what it's like to be an entrepreneur, which is a conversation that all 3 of us know and can speak to as well. So when we come back, we are going to have Korey share with us a little bit about KFS and all things taxes. So stay with us. My Morning Coffee. We'll be right back.
Sarita, go ahead.
Okay. Hello. Oh, we are back. We are being told we are back. Welcome back to My Morning Coffee. I am Sarita, I forgot to introduce myself originally, but I'm Sarita, the marriage and family therapist. And that's about it. But today, we're back from break, and you see we have another person, and I'd like to introduce Korey Kaiser, who is the founder and CEO of Kaiser Financial Services, or KFS for short. He told me to be nice to him, so I am attempting to do my best to be nice to him, because I have known Korey for almost 20 years, and I know, right? But this is a professional setting, so we won't get into all of that right now. But I wanted us, My Morning Coffee, to bring Korey on and discuss all things taxes. So I am going to hand it over to Korey and say welcome and thank you for coming to grace us with your presence on My Morning Coffee.
Well, thank you all for having me. Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
And I'd like for you just to kind of share, because you're also an entrepreneur as well. Yes. So sharing your journey, telling us a little bit about yourself and giving us a little background on your journey.
Well, I'm Korey Kaiser. I have been running Kaiser Financial Services since late 13, early 14, but I've got about 15 years total having various levels of responsibility in accounting. Before I was in the accounting industry, I was in the automotive industry, automotive and trucking, family-owned business that wound up going out of business. We had a municipal contract that closed, and I had a choice to either find a traditional 9-to-5 job and do something with that, or to make something of myself. And after pretty much bumping my head and stumbling a couple of times with trying to have a traditional 9-to-5, I decided that doing my own thing and building my own boat was the best option for me. You know, it's not a very big boat, but it's mine.
So, your company, you could say your company got started because you was out of work in one job, so you created a new job.
That's actually a lot of it, yes.
Yeah, so
that's actually a lot of it.
So for our viewers, people, sometime where you lose, you've been doing something for like 15, 20 years, and maybe the company goes under, or you just want to transition to something else, you can still transition from one job to the next. That's kind of like what you did. You had a company, your family had a company, they closed, the company went, closed down due to the contract ended, so you had to come recreate yourself, so to speak.
That's very, very accurate. Absolutely. The last, 10 years has been a lot of rebranding and shaving off, old crust, only to, kind of create new crust, I guess. So it's a different kind of crusty.
How was that for you? You were doing one thing for 15 plus years, and then now you had to go. Now you're doing something different. How was that in the beginning?
Well, you know what? I'll tell you. It was probably from a experience standpoint a lot longer than 15 years.
Okay.
Because the business out of college that I worked with, the family business, it's always been there. My dad started the business in the 60s.
Okay.
So when I was born in the 70s, there was always the business. And it was always from the time I was, 4 or 5 years old, I'll take over the business when the time comes. And I just maintained that all the way through life. And by the time I look up, I think I did 6 or 7 years there. And when the business closed down, you just kind of go, well, wow, who am I? What am I going to do? And, how do I move forward from this? Because for the prior virtually 30 years, that was the plan. I just kind of stayed in that lane. That's what I was going to do.
So entrepreneurship is really in your bones.
That's why I can't keep a job, yes.
Okay.
Is that the only reason why you can't keep a job? I'm just playing. I'm just kidding. Just kidding.
While the cameras are on, yes.
So now you're an accountant and you do you have a tax business, a financial business. So I'm assuming you're a tax preparer. You've been preparing a lot of taxes, and we know this year is the year that a lot of people with all the new tax laws that are out there that nobody can understand nor kid to understand. But if you could, maybe break some things down to the viewers, let them know, what they can expect of what's going on. Because I found that I did my taxes earlier, me and my husband earlier this year, and I wind up owing the government, and I'm not really happy about it. But it's cool, we still friends, me and the government. I ain't, I'm gonna go and pay them what they asking for, but I still don't think I should, but I am. And I know it has a lot to do with some of the tax changes, the tax laws that our boy Trump has put in place. And also, a lot of people don't know, I guess less taxes were being taken out of our checks, people that have traditional jobs. And of course, you don't see that. You're just happy you got a check. You're not really paying attention to that. Oh, I got a little more money than I got my check last year and stuff. But I've been hearing that's the reason why a lot of people owing, because they've been taking less out of our taxes.
That's exactly what happened. If you remember in late 17, just about all of 17, they were talking about how much easier the revamped tax procedure was going to be. Mm-hmm. The forms are actually different. I'm not going to say easier or smaller, because they've just moved everything onto different schedules and different forms.
Okay.
So it's not necessarily an easier process. But they did lessen taxes for pretty much everyone across the board. But what happened was that the rates in which people were getting their withholdings taken out of their checks lessened. So if a person was making, let's say, $60,000 a year, and they were taking out, let's say, $15,000 over the course of a year, and now it's only, let's say, 12 or 13. Okay. That meant that their check was, I don't know, $70 more a week, 2 weeks, however they were getting paid. So they were actually being taxed, or at least withheld, less.
Okay.
As a result of them not putting as much in the pot, there wasn't the same amount to take out of the pot when it came time to look at a refund for themselves. Okay. So sometimes people who are used to getting a couple $1,000s back only got $600 or $800 back.
Or wind up paying.
Or wound up owing.
So here's my question then. At the end of the day, it seems like they just evened it out. I don't hear too many people saying that they did better. And the sales pitch was that this simplified way of doing things was going to benefit you, not equally even you out. That wasn't the sales pitch. So can you kind of explain how that happened, or was that sold or taught to financial experts to be able to explain that to people?
Yeah, well, I think your term "better" is not quite what happened, because most people were in fact taxed less. So it's that additional $40 or $50 that they saw in their checks every week or every 2 weeks or whatnot that was where they did better. But I think that most people interpret better by the amount of the refund.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So many people are so excited and anticipate that nice big, $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 if you got a bunch of kids, maybe even more. There's this huge refund that comes, but throughout the year, it's just been kind of evenly sprinkled throughout the year instead of them getting the benefit of one nice heavy lump check or direct deposit.
Right, and so most people are not paying attention to their check on a regular basis, so they didn't really notice the $60 or $70 they were getting extra.
Right,
exactly.
They were looking forward to, like we all do, filing our taxes to not get a nice tax return.
Exactly.
And when we didn't, our lips are poked out now. And
But you'd already spent that money, that $140 a month that or whatever it is that you're getting, that's already been spent and allowed you to do other
tank. So
help me out with this. What states did not do so well with these new tax codes and tax laws?
What states didn't do well?
Yes, I know one of them is California. The other one is New York.
Well, right. Well, see, unfortunately, California and New York are, if I'm not mistaken, the wealthiest states in the nation.
In Texas.
In Texas, perhaps, yes.
Woo woo! That's where I'm going next week, to Texas. Oh,
So now we shouting. So now we acting like we from Texas.
no, we're not acting like we're from
Okay,
Texas.
you shouting out.
You know,
Woo,
Cali
woo.
raised, born and raised Cali, but you know, we're gonna check out Texas. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No,
Corey.
it's fine. It's fine.
We going tangent.
Texas is a no-income state, no income tax state.
That's what I'm talking about.
So, no state income tax.
That's right.
Still gotta
That's
pay
right.
federal,
Still
so
got to pay federal,
you
but
need to be
you know.
careful. California and New York are probably the wealthiest states in the nation. As a result, those two regions wind up supporting a lot of the other states in the middle of the country. You know, there's a lot of industry going on with entertainment, with the stock market.
Tech.
Stock market mostly in New York, and then there's a lot of tech and entertainment and farming and agricultural things going on here in California. The IRS tends to tax and pull a lot of California and New York money from, California and New York residents, and wind up giving it to the, poorer states. So we're always the ones to lose in a lot of ways from a federal standpoint.
So would you say that it's important to file your taxes, or why is it important to file your taxes every year?
There's several reasons why. A lot of people don't file because they feel like they don't need to. I don't know why people don't think why they think that they're somewhat exempt from having to file taxes. One big reason why you do want to file taxes is because they have certain things called refundable credits, which mean that even though you might not have put anything into the tax program, there are potential refunds that you can get back, like EIC, Earned Income Credit. Okay. Earned Income Credit. I don't know, do I have time to go through all the details of EIC, or should I just...
No.
Okay. Sorry about that.
But anybody that's done their taxes, they should have gotten some earned income credit at some point, right? With childcare, with
if you have children and things, you would get a lot more benefit from EIC than you would if you don't
medical.
have children. Yeah, there are certain benefits. So I would say everyone should file their taxes, even if they don't pay taxes necessarily, because there could be certain funds that they're basically overlooking.
Right.
Additionally, what winds up happening is, because life changes so quickly, certain things can wind up happening where I didn't have the money, let's say, to buy a house last year, but now I want to buy a house. And if I haven't filed my taxes for the last 5 years, I'm going to have real difficulty trying to qualify for loans and such. I think every year I get probably 3 or 4 clients every year saying I haven't filed in 5 years. But, I don't know, grandma passed away and left me something, and now I want to buy a house, and I can't because I don't qualify for anything because I haven't done my taxes in years.
Well, that's good that you brought that point up, Korey, about filing taxes and how important they are for people who want to buy homes. That's going to help lead us into our next segment with our next guest, who's going to be talking to us about real estate. So that, it's good that you touched on that point about filing the tax returns, and it's a necessary thing to do.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
What are some of the most important things to know about filing taxes this year? What do people need to get together, especially if they haven't filed in years? Mm-hmm. What do they need to get together? What do they need to have prepared to make sure that their taxes can be filed in a timely fashion and accurately?
My favorite customer is the one who is organized and fills out my paperwork.
I'm not your customer.
Oh, yeah, I'm not your customer, Korey. Okay, I won't be calling you then.
If you just bring me a shoebox of confetti, a bunch of scattered pieces of paper that don't make sense to you, they certainly don't make sense to me.
Well, Korey, it makes sense. It's just, who has time to organize that stuff? Look, we got it in the shoebox. Come on now.
I can take some things to Gia, and she can make some artwork. Just saying.
Yeah,
well, then now I tell my clients, if you guys come and see me, if it's confusing for you, it's going to be costly for you. So I would say take that time to organize things, allocate costs to reasonable account types.
And what are some of those?
Yeah, and Korey's allocate
remember,
costs.
You're
can you break this down to layperson?
Yeah.
Okay. So then I tell you what. take that shoebox of crap that you guys want to bring me.
There you go.
And make a pile for my travel. This is a pile for my medical expenses. This is the pile for automobile expenses. This is a pile for living expenses, my rents. And then you can provide, if you have a traditional job, the 1099s, the the W-2s, the 1095s, which are the different healthcare forms that prove that you had medical coverage, and, mortgage forms and 1098s and tuition stuff. All that stuff comes in the mail. Okay? So when they come, just drop it in an envelope or scan it to some kind of a drive or something, email everything to me. And as long as it's organized, it makes my life easy.
Okay.
All right, viewers. So you got that organized. Before you go see your tax preparer, be organized. It will make your life a lot better, and also it'll be a little less on your pocketbook,
right,
or your wallets.
Well, thank you for joining us today.
It was my pleasure. Thank you for having me.
We look forward to having you back.
Oh, you guys
and
want me.
How can our viewers reach you, Korey, if they need a tax preparer?
My website is Kaiser Accounting, www.kaiseraccounting, KEYSER, accounting.com. My office line is 213-293-9309.
And we'll have all that on our My Morning Coffee Facebook page. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Welcome back.
We're back. Hey.
So I think Tanya, are we gonna introduce our next illustrious guest?
Did she give you the sheet?
Huh?
She gave you the sheet, yes.
No. Oh, that one.
Yes. Hi. All right. So today, let me just say this. I'm really happy to have this nice lady come visit us today. Her name is Tanisha Curtis. She's amazing. I actually met her when she was working for one of the big banks, mainstream banks. And she did a lot in our community also, and it was great to see her. But she eventually left our community. She still lives there, but works amongst the rest of the world in Inglewood and other cities, and joined her husband and started their own firm. So I want to start by introducing you to our mortgage mogul or mortgage master, actually, Tanisha Curtis.
Hello, thank you for having me here.
So tell us a little bit about, your background, what you're doing, your company, and who you brought with you.
Okay, that's a lot. Okay, well, I've been in real estate since coming out of college. Yep, this way. Okay. So I've been in real estate since I was out of college. My dad was a mortgage broker back in the 90s, and I worked for him for a number of years until going into working for the traditional mortgage companies up until my husband and I opened up our own business in 2003.
Okay.
And my husband holds a broker's license and an insurance license. So that in combination with my mortgage license, we work together and help services our clients with multiple services.
You're one-stop shop.
One-stop shop.
That's good. Good. Awesome.
So when you left, can we tell them where you left from?
If you'd like. I'm okay with that.
When you left the big bank, what was that movement like from the big bank to your entrepreneurial company?
Easy for me.
Okay.
I mean, at that point, this was just a year ago, actually, that I came back to our office. I always wanted to have my own business anyway. I left the comforts. I mean, there's comforts of working for a big bank in that you have your benefits and, you get leads and things like that. But ultimately, I liked the idea of working for myself, and it was just time. I was ready. My husband was a little bit more aggressive with getting business and more salesy.
Yeah.
So he was able to sustain being in business for himself for a number of years with no problem. For me, that was like a thing I had to build. So
you're used to that comfort zone of a traditional job. I'm with you. That's how I am. I'm used to my comfort zone as my traditional job. So I understand what you're talking about.
So what would your advice be? Because I know many people that leave the comforts of a job are also leaving the comforts of the benefits and the comforts of a regular paycheck and the comforts of having a company behind them taking care of their medical plan. What would you say to someone that has that fire like you did in regards to entrepreneurship, but has an anxiety about jumping into having to do those things by themselves?
I would just say, support is important. Have a plan. Know where you're going to get your business. I mean, that's going to be important to sustain you. And if you want it bad enough, then take the leap and do it, because you got to be happy. And the flip side of working for another company and working for yourself is just, being able to express who you are and tying that to what you do. For me, that was the big thing. Doing mortgages. A lot of people do mortgages, and so I didn't really necessarily feel special doing that, or that it really represented who I was. When I finally went into business, or back into business again with my husband, it just dawned on me that I could tie in the experience of who I am with the mortgage process in terms of I'm a good communicator and helping people understand what's going on in the process. I'm calm. I'm good at keeping people calm and keeping them with having faith going through the process that we're going to close, it's going to happen, we're going to do this, and I'm not afraid to work hard. I'm very resourceful. So you just have to be comfortable with who you are when you get ready to make that leap and know your abilities.
Before we get into the nuts and bolts of what you do, you've been a master real estate person. Let's have you introduce or tell us who you have today with you. We don't want our time to get away from us, and we didn't get to meet this nice young lady over here.
Absolutely. So in our company, in our business, my husband also partners, we all partner with a probate attorney, Kelly Stanford, who came out of USC, and she got her law degree from Howard University. So Melody interned with Kelly, and she also has her law degree. Correct. She tell them, what else do you have? You have your law degree.
Yes, so I have a bachelor's degree from LMU, master's from Pepperdine. And so I decided to go back and get my JD in 2015. And so here I am. And so I've been doing real estate since 2003, I think it was, that I started. And I met Kelly in 2015. And so I decided to come back and work with Rick and Tanisha and blend my real estate background and the JD together. I thought it would be a perfect mesh together.
Yes. So we have a probate, real estate, and trust, estate, and conservatorship group where we put all of these services together, all of our hearts and our minds, and we go out and we help clients with a multitude of services, especially in probate where people are in need. You know, they're in emotional distress. There's a lot going on.
Yeah.
So the type of people that we are, we're able to help and really get people moving, come up with a plan, and help them execute.
You know, I have gone through my own probate situation, and my question to you would be, what is your advice for someone that is dealing with a contentious probate situation, especially when there is multiple people involved?
To deal with somebody that knows how to put things in perspective and execute. And I can say that is not particularly my specialty because I'm not the one with a law degree and that experience. So having someone that has very good experience is one thing I would recommend. And also just having someone like my husband who's able to really just say, hey, this is what we have, this is what we're going to do, and we're going to do this all together holding hands. And really just, he has a really, really good heart. So it's just having educated people, and Kelly is the same way. She's a great probate attorney, very, very patient.
Yeah, I was just going to say, finding someone, a real estate agent, broker, that's familiar with the process.
Yes.
And I think that's what Rick does, is he's been in this, dealing with probate real estate for 17 years. It's different from traditional real estate. Mm-hmm. So making sure you're knowledgeable about the process. And so I think that it's helpful that I have the law degree because I know the other side. And so it's easy to speak to attorneys, know the legalities and the lingo, and they feel comfortable with speaking with us. So being knowledgeable, because there's a lot that goes into it versus, a traditional sale, like relocating the client. We might have to clean out a home. We might have to deal with investors. There's lots of different things that go into it. So definitely. And then the legal part, being in court, a lot of different timelines and things that can and cannot be done. So being familiar with that is very important.
So Tanisha, I have a few questions for you, and we probably don't have enough time, girl. But one, I just have to say it, y'all. This woman's makeup is like banging. Her eyeshadow is just like out of this world right now. I don't even wear makeup, but she got me wanting to go home and try to put on some eyeshadow and stuff. It's so cute. But let me get back on topic, girl. See, I'm all about the fashion. I'm like, girl, the eyes is popping, girl. But no. The question I have, and I'm sure our viewers might have, what are some of the loan programs that are out there for home buyers?
There's actually a program where you can buy a house with no money out of pocket.
Shut your mouth, girl.
No money out of pocket.
Credit score needs to be
at least a 660.
Uh-oh.
Wow.
Okay, girl.
Not 800. Just
wait a minute, 60. Let me take some notes on this, okay? What you say, 650 credit score?
660.
660
Not
credit
800,
score. Okay.
660.
No money down.
No money down. Closing costs, down payment, all included.
Okay, girl.
Yes.
Y'all hear that?
There's
660, no money down. Just closing costs.
That's right.
Okay,
right.
Let's talk some more about that.
Okay, so that would be the best, in terms of if you don't have money, but maybe you have a great job, great work experience, or a long work history, things like that going for you.
What's long work history?
Well, 2 years. You can just do 2 years of continuous
I got 27, 28 years,
oh, so
girl.
Perfect.
Girl, we finna talk about some stuff after the show.
All right, I'm here.
Honey, I hope you're watching. Tanisha, that's our girl. Okay.
And I would say at the maximum for down payment, if you want a low down payment program, it would be an FHA loan with 3.5% down. And we've got other 3% down products as well.
Okay, I have a question about that. Okay, first time buyers. We all know what first time buyers is, your first time. But let's just say you have a person who was a previous homeowner, sold their home, but now doesn't have a home and hasn't had a home for some years. Do they still qualify as first-time buyers now?
3
Is there
years.
a cutoff?
Has to be 3 years.
So it has to be anything beyond 3 years. You can qualify for a first-time buyer.
What?
That's good to know. A lot of people didn't know that. So 3 years is the minimum is 3 years.
Minimum 3 years.
Okay.
Yes.
Good.
What kind of advice would you give for someone that wanted to get into investment and multi-family properties?
Oh, there's programs out there for that too.
Okay.
There's programs where you can buy a single-family house, just say, in a neighborhood in LA somewhere, and as long as it's zoned in maybe R2 neighborhood or higher, they can actually build in the improvements to turn that into a duplex.
What's an R2 neighborhood?
Well, where you can have units. So a neighborhood where they have multi-units, yeah.
Okay.
And they can turn that into maybe a duplex and make that income property.
Oh, okay.
You know, built into their loan. So there's programs for all of that. You don't necessarily have to, you know, put 40% down to buy a property, you know, as an investment. There's ways to do all of that.
So all those things that we would hear, you know, that you got to have so much money down for investment property, that's not necessarily true. There's programs out there.
Oh, there's so many programs. I have over 50 lenders that I work with several programs themselves that I can choose from.
So do you have programs for people that might want to get a fixer-upper?
Oh, yes.
That with money built in for them to fix up the property?
Absolutely.
There is?
Absolutely.
Okay,
FHA has a program, the 203K, you can do in order to build repairs in. There's Home Possible. There's all kind of different, you know, options out there where you don't have to have a lot of money up front in order to accomplish being a homeowner or, you know, buying a property where you can get rental income and that kind of thing.
So has the new laws and tax laws made it more beneficial or less beneficial to be a homeowner? Because I have heard the debate, rent versus ownership, in a time where there's a little instability or uncertainty.
I mean, there's different perspectives on that. I think it depends on what purchase price or loan amount you're going for. That would make that a difference tax law-wise.
Okay.
But, you know, you just have to kind of look at the whole person, and that's one thing that we do is look at everything. Where is this person? What are their goals? What do they want to do? You know, maybe home ownership is not for the single person who doesn't want the burden of taking care of a house or all of those responsibilities. Or maybe you are ready for that. Maybe you're 25 and you want to buy a house because you're very creative and great at decorating and resourceful and have great family support and maybe you have a lot of money sitting around. You know, there's different situations for different people. And I think if you are someone who is interested in purchasing a home and maybe you're afraid that you don't qualify, just try. It can't hurt. It's always best to know where you are than to just wonder where you could be. That's how I see it.
Okay. Well, wow. You know, you've really dropped a lot of nuggets today about home buyership and about probate and trust and things like that. And I'm sure we're going to have you guys both back, your company back on another episode because there's still a lot of things I'm sure you didn't get to touch on that's information that our viewers really need to hear and want to hear. So, but thank you for being here today and dropping the little nuggets that you did drop because they were good nuggets.
So tell us how we can get in contact with you and your firm.
Well, it's JCL Realty Plus Investments. Our office line is 310-674-3863. I'm extension 223. I have a personal cell number. Actually, it's a personal work cell number. You can always call me anytime at 310-303-4405.
All right, and my personal cell is 310-867-0031.
Very good.
Yes.
Okay. Well, wow, that was a lot of information today. I hope you guys all enjoyed our guest host today and took something away from what they had to say. Remember, the key is ask questions, find a good realtor, and there's a loan out there for you. Be organized when it comes to your tax returns and filing your taxes. Your tax guy or girl does not want you to show up in the office unorganized, okay? It will help you, it will save you some money, but do file your taxes. They're important. Filing taxes is important to home ownership if you're out there and you want to become a homeowner.
Very good.
All right, well.
How can they find you?
You guys can find me, Mahogany Box, or The Mahogany Box on Facebook. Instagram, I'm The Mahogany Box. I'm here for you for all your jewelry and apparel and head wrap needs.
Very good. Nice. I'm Tanya McKenzie. You can find me at PRBizMom on Instagram and Twitter, or check me out at TanyaMcKenzie.com.
And I am Sarita Butler, and you can find me on Instagram at SaritaBMFT or my website, which is www.saritabutlermft.com.
And all of this will be placed on our Facebook page, and hopefully we will see you guys again soon.
We'll see you next month for spring cleaning with My Morning Coffee.
Yay. Have a good one, guys.